Hi lovelies, so welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be making fried fish roll. If you've been following my video, you know we dropped a video on baked fish roll some weeks back. If you've not seen that video, you can as well go back to our videos to check it out. So in today's episode, we are making fried fish roll. So let's get into it. We're going to start by boiling our fish. For this particular recipe, I'm using scumbia, but if you have certain fish, that's also fine. So I boiled my fish, deboned it, and shredded it the same way you saw in the video. So now let's make the filling. We're going to start by adding vegetable oil to our pot or pan, and then we'll go in with our onions, saute the onion, going with our scotch bonnet pepper, our sliced scotch bonnet pepper. You can also decide to roughly blend your scotch bonnet pepper and your onion instead of slicing them, but for me I prefer to slice mine. Okay, but if you want to blend yours roughly, that's also fine, but please emphasis on roughly. Okay, so you're going to give that a really good stir until everything is thoroughly combined and fried. After that, you want to go in with the fish you've shredded, and give that a really good mix. Going with your seasoning powder also, and a little salt. Please, a little salt, so you don't make your filling so salty. So when you've added all of those, you stir and stir very well. You stir continuously so it doesn't get burnt. There is actually no need to add so much spices to your filling. That is not what we want. You know, fish on its own has a very good aroma, and it's actually the aroma we need in this filling. We don't need so much extra. Okay, so I added chili powder also for that extra heat. I love it hot. So if you love it hot like me, you can decide to add chili powder and go in with more scotch bonnet pepper. So when that's ready, we're going to sieve our flour. Okay, I'm going to drop the measurements of all these in the description or comment section, so do well to follow the correct measurement so your dough comes out really nice and stretchy. Okay, as you all know, and as I say in all of my videos, the beauty of pastry is when everything comes out nice, and you cannot actually get it perfectly if you're not sticking to the right recipe and measurements. So always do well to check the comment section or description box for the accurate measurement. Okay, so when we've mixed all our dried ingredients, I broke my egg and went in there. Please don't do this at home. Always crack your egg on a separate bowl before you go into your mixture, so just in case the egg is bad, it doesn't spoil everything you've been doing. So I went in with my egg, my margarine, and I mixed that properly well. So I'm going to add water, okay, to combine everything together perfectly well. I'm using my both hands. Of course, my hand is washed and it's for my family's consumption, so don't worry about that. My hands are clean. So I use my hands to mix everything thoroughly well. Right now, I'm going to bring it out from the bowl and place it on my work surface so I can knead it perfectly well. You may want to exert a little more energy while kneading, so everything will be perfectly fine and smooth. Okay, just so you don't get seeds in your dough. So yeah, this is the time to exert extra energy. So exert extra energy, knead that very well, properly and fine, to make sure everything comes out fine and smooth. Now look at that. This is what we have, a perfect dough. If you touch your dough and you can still feel seed in the dough, then you have not done a great job. You've not done a great job at all. So always make sure you knead your dough until you can't find any seed in the dough. That is what makes your pastries come out really nice and good. So when you're done kneading, you might want to drop your dough to rest for like 10 to 15 minutes. Although I don't believe this is compulsory. Yeah, it's optional. So if you have the time, you can leave your dough to rest for 10 to 15 minutes. You just cover with a cloth, a clean cloth, please, and allow it to sit for 10 to 15 minutes. And when that's done, you bring it out and it's time for us to roll. That is why it is called fish roll. Yeah, it is fish in a roll. Now it's time for us to create the magic. You flour your work surface, use a sharp knife or a pizza cutter to divide your dough into tinier bits before you start rolling, just so you can roll out perfectly. And the goal is to have a really flat dough. We need to roll this out to be really flat for us to get that perfect fish roll. You don't want to start frying your fish roll and everything is becoming so big. No. And secondly, it has to be flat, just so when you're frying, everything will be properly cooked inside. You're not baking this, so it doesn't stay long on heat. And if your dough isn't flat like this, if it is really thick, it might not be able to be properly cooked for just that 5 minutes it will be in the oil. So that is why we have to make sure we roll the dough until it is really flat. Yeah. So that is the secret to making sure your dough is properly cooked to the inside. Just make sure you roll it to be so flat. Same thing goes for egg roll. When you're rolling your egg, although I'm digressing, but I'm just trying to tell you, even when you want to buy egg roll, sometimes you notice for some people their egg rolls don't get properly cooked inside or properly fried, if we should call it that. It does not get properly fried inside because some of them allow their dough to be so thick. So when you're frying your pastries, you don't let it get that way, so it will be properly fried on the inside. Okay, I'm sure you saw how I rolled this, and you might want to ask what I used to bind the end. What I used to bind the end is just a mixture of flour and water, and that is just to make sure it is properly sealed. They say repetition is for emphasis, right? Now let us roll this again, and please look very well. Take a really good look at how I am rolling this, because if you just think it's easy to roll, you might roll it in a way that when you put it in your oil, everything will spill out, your fish will spill out, and you have a really messy stuff. Okay, so as you roll it out, to make sure it's thin like this, make sure it is thin. Now you put your fish. Please pay attention. It's time to take a really close look. A close look. Okay, can you see how I am rolling? As I'm rolling, I'm taking it in, and I'm trying to use my finger to close the edges. I'm trying to use my fingers to close the edges as I'm rolling. I'm pinching the edges as I'm rolling, just so it will be closed. And as I said earlier, if you don't pay attention to this and you just roll and put in the hot oil, everything inside can spill out, and I'm sure you don't want that. No, that's not good. You can't do that and say you learned from mommy. No. So this is how you should do it. Can you see how I'm closing it? I closed it with the tip of my fingers, so nothing inside can spill in the hot oil. Now I also went in with my flour paste to seal that end. Can you see how properly sealed the fish roll is? Now let us take the last one. In case you did not pay attention to the first, the second, I'm sure you should pay attention to this third. Take a look at how I am rolling. So let me know in the comments, between fried fish roll and baked fish roll, which do you think is tastier, or which do you like? Or do you think they have the same tastes? To me, I think fried fish roll and baked fish roll are two distinct pastries. They are totally different because there is no similarity, and I mean no similarity in their tastes. But for me, I say the best is fried fish roll here. Fried fish roll any day, anytime. It's tastier, the flavor is good, and in fact you're going to appreciate fish roll more when you fry it. Now it's time for us to fry. I have already heated my vegetable oil in my pan, and now I'm frying. Please do well to fry on medium heat. Don't fry on high heat, and don't also fry on low heat. Okay, so just fry on medium heat, let that fry, then you flip it over Can you see how good our fish roll is already coming out? Oh yeah. So you flip it over, let that fry very well. Let every sides of it fry very well, so it's going to be properly fried inside, as I said earlier. You guys, allow it to turn golden brown before scoping it out. Can you see our fish roll? So let me know, how many of these can you finish? As for me, I can finish up to 5. Yeah, I'm not joking. I'm not joking, because the taste of those fish roll, hey, you guys, please, I'm going to be dropping the ingredients and the measurements in the description or comment section. Do well to try this recipe. Are you going to be trying it? Thanks for watching. Do well to follow us, like, and subscribe. Bye.